Are you posting consistently, following trends, trying to grow your Instagram, but still not seeing it translate into real clients? Today's guest has built an audience of over 270,000 followers online. But more importantly, he's figured out how to turn that attention into actual business behind the chair and for his world renowned classes. And we're about to share the blueprint so you can learn from his success. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Salon Scoop, the podcast that helps salon owners and salon professionals grow their business, boost their brand, and stay inspired. From salon marketing and social media to leadership and growth, we uncover the strategies and stories that move the industry forward. If you love learning, growing, and are serious about leveling up your salon business and brand, you've just found your new go-to podcast. Welcome back to another episode of the Salon Scoop. Today's episode is all about something every stylist is thinking about, whether they admit it or not: social media, right? Love it or hate it, everyone is still thinking about it, obsessing about it sometimes, because it's one thing to post content, it's another thing to grow a following. And it's something completely different to turn that following into paying clients and real business growth. Today, I'm joined by J Ladner, a Los Angeles-based celebrity stylist, blonde specialist, and educator with over 15 years of experience. He's built an audience of over 270,000 followers on Instagram, while also working behind the chair, educating other stylists, and collaborating with major brands. So today, we're not just talking about growth for the sake of growth. Okay, we're going to break down what actually works when it comes to building a following in today's social media landscape, how to balance content for clients versus content for other stylists, right, in an education format, and most importantly, how to turn attention online into real opportunities and revenue offline. Jay, I'm really looking forward to this conversation with you. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Scott, I'm so revved up. And thank you for that intro. So iconic. It's always so crazy, like hearing someone else's like point of view of you. And I'm like, oh wow, I've been in the trench. Let's go. So I'm
Let's
gonna
do it.
share it. I'm gonna share everything that's within me.
I love it.
Let's
Well, you've
go.
got a ton of energy, and I look forward to having you share that with our audience today. We have a tradition on the Salon Scoop with every celebrity hairstylist that we interview, and ask them, start with this question: if you could work on the hair of one celebrity that you have never worked with before, who would that be and why?
I love this question, and it's probably gonna be different from what you've probably heard ever. And I love that they don't exist yet. They're still in their discovery phase. Those are my favorite types, the up and comers, the new kids on the block. Like, I just love being a part of their growth and the way that they want to portray themselves, right? So I love being part of that conception piece. So they're coming, but they're not here yet. So brace for impact. You might meet them one day.
And you're gonna help them. You're gonna help them grow famous
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
their hair.
Yep.
Love it. Our listeners also like to hear people's origin stories, so maybe you can just share before we delve into, all your best practices and successes. How did you get into this industry in the first place, right? Like what stage were you at in life and what was the trigger for you? And maybe you can just kind of give a quick snapshot of your past, whether, salon ownership or working solo, just so people kind of know what your journey was like along the way.
Oh, I love this. So I always say the hair industry chooses you or you choose it. And the hair industry chose me. I was a performer. I got injured. I had 3 months left on my contract and I started working in the costume shop doing wigs. I never played with hair. And I I was actually really good at it. And the leader, my boss, in the costume shop was like, Jay, like this is good. Like you're sewing in wefts, which makes sense. I'm, the global artistic director of Christian Michael Hair Extension. So it's like tying back to my roots. That's how I got started. And then I went to school. I was in my early 20s and I just had the best mentors imaginable. I went to Paul Mitchell. 2008, 2009 was like the most iconic years, in my opinion. A lot of like your favorite influencers, everyone listening, went to Paul Mitchell those years and they really trained us up. And through that journey, through my mentorships, I've managed salons, been just a stylist, owned a salon for 8 years, sold it. Like I've been to New York. I mean, I've really go the distance because of the mentorship and fast tracking me to where I am now in my career. And I just give honor to the stylists who stood before me, and for all the next generation. That's who I speak to because I was given a shot and shown a roadmap and then had freedom to take my credibility as I built it along the way. And now I'm giving that back to the next generation because they rev me up.
I love it. I love it. Well, let's get into some of the juicy stuff and share so you can give back to the next generation.
Let's go.
When you look back at your journey, right, everything that you've been through, what do you think were some of the biggest turning points to grow your online presence?
The number one thing is consistency. That's like me and my bestie's favorite word. Consistency. It's like you're showing up. That's one. That's part one. You're showing up. Before consistency, who are you? Right? And it's okay to take people along the journey if you're still trying to figure out who you are. Like, we just want you to show up. Everyone wants you to show up authentically, you. That's it. There's no more of this fluff or facade. Um, I always like to say, like, the only fluff I like is my marshmallow fluff on a peanut butter marshmallow fluff sandwich. Okay. So I think like you have to have a point of view that is yours. A lot of times we forget that our life credibility holds a lot of impact into our career credibility, right? So just showing up as authentic as you can and creating a safe space, but it's all about consistency. I remember when I owned a salon, that's when my posting, I was already an educator with Paul Mitchell. I was already a salon owner. I worked in New York. I worked all over the US. Like I had a lot of credibility and because of my team, saw that efficiency was actually how we were going to scale our business because we're maxed out. And I go, if this is magic is happening for us, I'm going to share it far and wide. And Scott, if you can believe me, at the time, 2016, 2017, I was posting 6 times a day, 7 days a week, sharing only what I was doing. I put the blinders on and I just was like, this is what's working for my team. This is what's working for me. We're leaning into efficiency. It was like the F word in the industry at the time, right? Because they thought efficiency meant lazy or
Right.
cutting corners, which is not the case, right? We're technicians. So I just stayed in my lane and I just pumped out the content. And it's just like being a stylist behind the chair. It's our job to make sure that our clients never forget what we do, who we serve, and how we serve. So that's the kind of mentality of like I took my relationship of how to build a brand as a stylist and a salon owner. And then I took the same relationship and used it towards social media. So I showed up. It was so annoying at times, but I did it. You know what I mean? I showed up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's I think what a lot of people out there feel, and they might be like, 6 times a day, 7 days a week. There's no way that I can do that. There's no way that I want to do that. And we're not saying that everybody out there has to do
No.
that by any
Yeah.
means, but I think it's understanding the intention. What you started with is being consistent. So we'll come back to sort of what some of that can look like for people who
Yeah.
are we don't want to scare anybody off and say that's the only way to get there, but back in the day, the fact that you were doing that earlier on in the Instagram world definitely, I'm sure, propelled you to have follower growth. But I want to
Yes.
understand kind of what your intention was at that time. Like, did you have a vision? Where, I mean, were you trying to post for the sake of attracting clients? Or were you already thinking about building a personal brand online, or maybe something else, or nothing at all, and you were just going with the flow?
So this is a really important question, Sky. And I really love that we're going there together and for everyone listening because they coincide with each other. Your salon business, and if you're educating, you're doing the same thing. You're onboarding how you do your guest services, how you serve behind the chair while still showing technique. There is credibility with everyone tuning into that. So I feel that, in my opinion, I was just educating, right? And remaining trying to have my viewers or the people who were beginning to trust me to understand my relationship to curiosity, right? Like if we remain curious in any walk of life, there's growth in that curiosity, right? So a lot of times, and a lot of people, if you're listening and you've seen me in personal or in person, it's always emotional. I lean into the emotional side of beauty. It's emotional for our clients and it's emotional for us. And how do we kind of level out the system? So I was projecting to a sense of no stylist left behind. And through that, what happened was my clients, my guests showing up still to this day, trust me even more because I'm letting it all out. I'm talking about them and I'm talking about the pro. Like, no one's off the table, even me, right? Like, I'll call myself out. So, there is power in education and curiosity. So, I feel like that was and still is my magic sauce. And I want people listening to get curious. Like, what is it that you want? Because your why matters the most, right? Like, I knew that efficiency will change people's lives, our clients' lives, because we're honoring it, in our stylist lives because we're being better technicians. We have time to sell and we're doing it with precision. So it's like both of those kind of can coincide into one ecosystem.
Hmm, nice. You talked about you found your why, and you were kind of like sharing all about that. What could you tell somebody out there, or give advice to somebody out there who maybe hasn't figured out what their why is, or don't know how to figure out what their why is in order to have a message to deliver? What can you share to help inspire them?
Let me zoom in on this. Everything you ever need to know is never said. Any room you're in, everything you need to know is never said. Are you aware enough to pay attention to it? Are you tapped in to that awareness around you? Now, let me dive a little deeper. So, what I mean by that is if your hands and heart are aligned in doing it, share it. If that is not, if you are not doing XYZ or you have not lived, yes, don't share it. Share what you're doing. That is your why. You're living it daily. But 98% of the world, Scott, is unaware. I'm trying to wake up and make them the 2% that is just walking around with curiosity and awareness. And everything you need to know is never said. So it's like just trust your credibility in life, walk it into your career, and it's right in front of you. Do you notice it? So hopefully that statement alone revs all of you listening up, like revs you up to go like, oh, it's that simple. Brene Brown says it best, clear as kind, unclear, unkind. So it's time to zoom in.
Love that. Do you think people are so caught up in what they see on social media, what they're consuming of others. They think that they need to be like, other people, that I need to be like Jay. I need to be like, whoever else that I see and that I admire. And I'm like, oh, I don't have that inside of me. Like, and they try to fake it. And some people say, you got to fake it till you make it. How do you play off that pressure of doing what I think is going to be successful versus just relying on what's naturally me and just telling me and sharing me and my story and what I'm living, that what you're sharing here?
Oh, that's a beautiful question. I find that oh my gosh, social media right now, I mean, it's a wild ride. It is a wild ride. All of us want to get off of it. And we're like, what is happening, right? So you're seeing, and hopefully, like you're seeing and noticing, some of your favorite hair influencers or educators are trying to be more mindful in the way that we're producing our content, where it's a little less stressful, like it's a little less produced, like it's not, it's showing, it's stripping it back, right? It's becoming more raw again because the pressure is real. But what I like to tell people is that you make the rules of your life. And if you want to show up and do 3 days a week or 1 day a week, show up on your stories, show up on your reels, whatever that rules of engagement is, you're allowed to have it. And think about it as like your chair. We always attract like minded people to our chair. And if you're starting out, you're probably like, Jay, I don't know about that. Well, because you have to do all the services. Yes, you have to build that credibility. So over time, when you're posting what you love and what you do and who you are, right? You're attracting those like-minded people. I want you to think about that chair, that relationship to your business, and put it right into social media. Going back to only share what revs you up and only share what you do. When you try to step into a room like me, walking in like, hey, Slay, hey, right? Like I'm like the most flamboyant boy, right? And that's who I am. And I rock with the people who rock with me. So if that revs you up and you like it, then you're going to sign up for it. But if you don't, that's fine too. None of my business, right? But I am going to show up and still speak my truth. So I want to give permission. I feel like all of us need permission to just show up the most authentic way. And if you are more timid and not an extrovert, there's a crew for you. There are people who rock with you, and I can't speak to them. So it's your obligation, if you want it, to speak to them. So show up, right? Because I don't radiate on their wavelength. So maybe they think I'm fun, but my message doesn't land, right? So it's like give yourself permission to just have the audacity to show up and figure it out, right? Like imagine placing foils for the first time. None of us were good. No one. You had bleed marks. Maybe you fried the hair. Yep. We've all been there, right? But the repetition and consistency, you make it fun, right? You evolve. Because if, Scott, if you scroll back to 2016, because all the videos are there,
Yeah.
you'll be like, oh, I was finding my way. But I was like, I know this is going to change my life and my family's life. If I just keep leaning in and my team's life and the people I coach, and I feel like I have found my efficiency secret sauce, and I'm gonna share it far and wide. So hopefully that lands. Sometimes I like to go through the river, Scott.
This
So
is
you have
great.
to
This is
bring me
great.
back.
This is great. There's some amazing insights here. I really hope everybody out there is listening carefully and picking up, because there's some really important things here that Jay is sharing. Jay, what about people? I hear this so often from salon professionals that they don't feel comfortable putting themselves out there. They don't like to put their face, out on social media. They don't like how they look, and there's obviously some level of insecurity around there and whatnot. But how do you speak to someone who's in that position that just doesn't like to put themselves out there? Because the message that you're sharing is, tell your story, put it out, just speak your truth. How do you respond to someone who doesn't like to put themselves out there?
We work with two magical things: our hands. Zoom in, zoom in and do voiceovers, right? Zoom in. We are we're technicians with our hands. So people love hair content. If you're going to talk about a service menu and you're installing some foils and you're just focused on like the install, I do a lot of that, Scott, where there's days I don't want to put my face in it. Like I'm going to do a voiceover when I'm ready. I'm going to show the technique because I think it's cool and hopefully someone else thinks it's cool, right? And it lands. But it's like I'm teaching. So I'm like, my hands, this client, let's go. And then I'll voice over it and I'll talk about like my day or like what I'm doing and why I think it's important or why a stylist should consider even entertaining me, right? Of like what I think is great, right? So we have hands, there is a head. You don't have to film yourself, and that's why it's like giving yourself permission to enter at your own risk. Like, enter the stadium. We want you in the stadium. We need you in the stadium. Just enter in at your own risk and your rules of engagement. So, zoom that camera in, get it on a tripod, get your hands working because that's how we make our money, right? And a lot of this, and a lot of this. So our mind and our hands and our heart. So it's like just tap into that. And there's like just remaining curious, right? Like tap in, like zoom in. Like you don't have to be the center of it, but it is important that you do a voiceover here and there. In the captions, you talk about your why, not about just like a random like copper brunette, right? Like you're actually telling a story about who you are, what your brand stands for, how to book you. If you're trying to get into education, teach and lead and figure it out along the way. So hopefully that helps. You can always zoom in.
Yeah, I love that. And even if you're talking to clients, again, just the simple like, ooh, crazy copper, people want to connect with you.
Yeah.
So share something. And it could be educational, because you're explaining like how you're doing it, why you're doing it, giving a tip. That's just providing your brain power, which is way more interesting than just reading, a 2-line little caption. You don't need to put a whole paragraph. Not everybody wants to read forever and ever, but you want to be connecting with people. So
Yeah.
Jay, let's talk about different types of content, and let's talk about what types of content have been working well for you, and then we can shift it to just a regular stylist behind the chair, not educating, doing shows, just focusing on clients. What types of content do you recommend that they try to put out there consistently?
I love like if they're for me because I'm back a part of a salon team now and I talk majority. So the past 3 years, I've been speaking majority to stylist. Like that is like my go-to. I'm educating, I'm educating, I'm educating. I do I have clients that are following me? Yes. Are there consumers following me? Yes. Do I ever acknowledge them? I haven't. So they're there, they're trusting me. And then once I said I'm taking on new clients, now they're entering the front of the scene. My language has to change because the way my service menu is, it's modern, right? It's not a technique based system. They don't go through selecting a balayage. They're more of a vibe. Yes. So I will have to now translate my conversations, which is so much fun right now, Scott, because I'm like having fun. It's like fun, it's riveting. It's like I'm doing something different. I'm still doing the same style of videos that work for me, but my conversations are different. So I will say, this is a mini locks with a haircut appointment. I see you, Linda. I see you watching and I'm ready for you. I'm opening up my books. And if she looks like you, if this client looks like you, this is what you book. Right. So now I'm like, I'm educating them of boom, 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 right? Of how we're going to be navigating the onboarding of my salon. I'm now showcasing the salon team and I'm showing this space. And like, as we're growing it and decorating it and taking along people along the journey, for me as an educator, when I'm on a mannequin, it is nostalgic to all of us because our first clients were mannequins. So if I post a mannequin, it's time for class. Like, it's time for a class. It's for you, only for you, stylist. And there's a powerful message behind it. So it's like the mannequins always hit. Like, it's nostalgic, right? So, but now I'm having fun adapting my content. And will there be ebbs and flows to the likes, the view? Yes. But that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I will be honest, and I want to share this because it's pulling on my heart. I will be honest with you. I took the pressure away of views, of likes, of shares, of whatever. I took it away because it's unrealistic. Not every post, I don't care how many followers you have, not every post is going to land. Not every like message you say is going to stick. We don't own the algorithm. So already take that away and just show up. So yeah, that's basically what I'm doing now. So I'm having fun talking to a different audience and it's cool. I like it.
I love how you seem to be really personalizing your message, speaking like directly to, so that the viewer feels like they're almost getting a one-to-one message from you. I think
Yeah.
that's really smart. So many people post kind of just for themselves as opposed to posting for their audience. And that's a really a great insight that you shared that I want to make sure that people kind of picked up on. What types of content would you recommend that, the everyday stylist out there be focused on today? Things that typically tend to do pretty well to allow them to connect well with with an audience out there, and understanding the
It,
algorithms.
yeah.
Today's state of the algorithm as well. Should they be doing exclusively reels? Should they be doing carousels? Are regular just image posts still working? What would your guidance be?
So carousels are leading the way right now. That's very powerful. I think that it's fun. Keep it short and simple on each slide. And they've extended the amount of slides that you can do. But also I think reels, of course, video. Video is always going to lead. A static post, get it out of here. Okay? It may come back. She ain't a diva anymore. Okay. So we're just getting her out of there, focusing on reels and carousels and creating a message. So, who do you want to speak to? How do you want to speak to them? What are you trying to get? Call to action, right? What do you want from it? So, if you're a stylist building your clientele, you're an owner leading a team, you have to educate about what you serve, who you serve, what you do, the service menu, the salon, the culture, that there's a lot of fun in like sharing the why. Whatever your website says, do that. Start there, right? So, or whatever your service menu says, start there, right? Whatever you like to do in the lather lounge, start there. So there's everything, and we're going back to the very beginning, Scott, when I said everything we need to know is never said. It's happening around us. So it's like, what is happening around you on the daily? and then sharing that. So if you're building a clientele, you want to keep a clientele, you want just to focus on loving on your clients and getting as many people in your chair, talk to them and not in a broad way. So I want to zoom in a little bit on what you brought up just now. And it was like, I speak to Scott. I speak to Sarah Beth in Tennessee. I say, I know you are tired, burnt out because there's an epidemic and it's called the baby light. Okay. And they're taking your wrist out. So I know that's a fact because guess what? We're more alike than we are different. That right there opens up. People are like, right? They're like, oh my God, I am baby lighting and I am overfoiling. But if I was like everyone in the industry, it's too broad. So when I go on, I'm like, listen, I'm like, for a client, I would go, I'm a stylist in Los Angeles, and I know you have never experienced something like what I do. This is why. And I would show me shampooing. We spend a lot of time in this lather lounge. We wash it away. I do efficient placement of patterns, me installing, right? This service took 2 hours. I know you're used to 6. And you like me, you're not in love with me. And I like it. So, however you want to take me, I'm ready, right? However you want to have me, I'm going to have you on the same level. You want a silent appointment? I'll shut my mouth. You want me to talk and blab and be your therapist? Let's go, right? So, it's like, this is who I am. This is who I serve. And I want to give you the pleasure of deciding if I'm your boy, right? So if I'm not saying that though, then your message is getting drowned out in a sea of constant posts, constant, right? It's fatigue. It's posting, you know what I mean? Consuming fatigue.
Yeah, I love what you just talked about there, Jay, in terms of the importance of having a call to action as part of your post. Because otherwise, like you said, you can just kind of get caught up in your posting for the sake of posting and say, oh, yeah, I got to get a couple posts out today. And you're just doing it without any thought process behind it. Again, let's go back and think about we're trying to make the money here from it. We want to make this to be purposeful when we're posting with purpose. What are some things that we can do to help our social media content actually translate into clients, right? Because at the end of the day, that's
Yeah.
the biggest reason why we're on social media in the first place.
This is so important. And I do want to bring up someone who I think is so magical. His name is Hunter Donia. And Hunter Donia is all about automating your business, whether you are a salon manager, owner, independent artist. He is iconic in educating this. So I'm going to tell you what I took away from just creating magic with him. And it was all about automation. So mini chats, having a job form for your clients to fill out so you get to know them better. That's where you get to nurture, right? It's taking it from the website and now making it more like a lead magnet. But one thing that you can do right now on social media is mini chats. And yeah, you are going to have to pay eventually, but it's a write off, okay? Like it's marketing. It's a marketing budget. We all need one. And a lot of times I say bold statements and truths as a matter of fact because it is. You know what I mean? Like you got to get there, right? So mini chats, what I love is like the automation. So you can have words trigger that then sets up your call to action. So if you're busy or you just don't have the time outside of the salon, because you may be a busy mom or like you have things going on, right? So automation is the way that's going to lead the way. And for instance, I just did a post and I said, comment 444. I opened up my membership portal for free. Like there is a call to action in this industry for people like me who need to show up for our industry right now. We're in a recession. So I said, hey guys, surprise. It's not April Fool's, but it is April Fool's, but this ain't a fool. Okay. Comment 444. It handled everything else. All I had to do was the back end work. I had to create my message. Once they commented 444, everyone is already doing this. There's so many brands doing automation, so you're not training your clients. They're already experiencing it. That's the power of social media. There's no more it starts in LA or it starts in New York or trends start in Europe. No, it starts in your town, in your big city, in your small town. We are all consuming the same stuff, right? So education is so accessible that they're already your consumer, your clients are already experiencing this. So I don't want people to think, well, I live here. No, that's a limiting belief. I want you to expand and zoom out that we're already experiencing it. And if you have been on my Instagram and you have done 444, you saw the onboard.
Got it.
And if you didn't like it or you want to edit, freedom to you. Mini chats will guide you along the way. So I kind of want to give that big, massive nugget of like when you have a call to action, how do you secure it quicker?
Okay.
How
So
do you get them to the end
I want to
result?
break this down to make sure that people understand. So
Yeah.
there's essentially an add-on app, right? Mini chat that you
Yes.
would get, and in there you can create an automated sort of response and flow system. People can fill out a form, and then once you have that set up, when you're doing your social media posts, all that you need to do is say comment 444 or whatever trigger you want below, and when the person writes that into the comment, they are automatically entered
DM'd.
into this flow, and they're going to get an automated response and maybe a link to a form to fill out and whatever you want that flow to be, so that you don't have to manage all of that ongoing stuff. And now you can just kind of keep asking for people to comment 444 or whatever your trigger wants to be, and that's going to help you get more leads into your funnel. Am I grasping that correctly?
Absolutely 100%. So if you were to go on to my post, type 444, you're going to get I created 3 responses in my own voice, like, oh, you're ready, Scott. Right. And then it's like, go check your DM. So automatically you're DM'd. And then I just do a nice little welcome. Hey, this is everything that you need to know about my membership. If you want it, click here, then it sends you the link. Right. So you're still talking to me because I created it, right? But it is an automation, but it's in my tone of voice that you're familiar with, and it gets you there as soon as possible. We are maxing out at 3 seconds. Our brains are glitching at 3 seconds. We're like, oh, I'm bored. Right. So it's like, how do we get there quicker? And automations will be that. So it sends a reply, then it goes to the DM. You click the link, you get to the call to action quicker as the consumer. And then you're like in it. Now you're in the world and we're doing it. Cool. Da 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 da. Now on our private Facebook, me and you get to have even more intimate conversations because we're not distracted.
Right.
I'm not, right? With everything that's on my
Yeah.
list. I go there and I'm with you. It's more intimate. So now it's like, oh, I get to really ask my questions. I get to really be seen. I get to be heard. I get to, really tap into Jay's point of view or boom, 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 right? That's specifically for me as an educator. But for clients, I'm sending them to my booking link.
Nice. Yeah, of course.
I'm sending them to yes, they're going to my booking link and how I onboard, my rules of engagement as their stylist, right? So I'm like, accepting new clients, my books are open, boom, comment, slay. And then if they comment, slay, they can book.
So I want everyone to experience this. I think if they experience it themselves and see what the response is, then they can picture for themselves how they might be able to use this tool
Yep.
in their own world. So Jay, can you direct people, where can they go on your Instagram to find this post and type 444 in the comments so they can at least receive the responses and see how this works?
Here's the magic. Any post, any post that you see on my feed, type 444 in it. You can tell mini chats to do a specific post or all post, right? All DMs, all comment, like that you can really dial it in. So on any reel, any post that you see, type in 444 at it's Mr. J Ladner on Instagram and you'll get onboarded. So you'll get to experience it. It's fun. It's me. You're gonna be like, oh, he got his voice working in that type. Okay, so you'll see it, you'll feel it, you'll understand my vibe from that. So any post on my Instagram, 444.
Love it. All right. What are some common mistakes that you see out there from other Instagram feeds, other stylists, obviously, that are maybe preventing them from turning online attention into actual business? What are some mistakes that people are making?
I think the number one thing is being too broad, to making too broad of statements. You really have to clear it up analysis. Like you literally have to just like dial in the message to one specific topic, one specific, you know, call to action, one specific education piece. When you're too broad, it's too much to consume. Clear as kind, Brene Brown, right? So clear it up. So I think when it's too broad, I see it a lot where I'm like, oh, like there's a lot to consume. Now you're asking everyone consuming to tell you what they no. We want, as consumers, me, I want you to tell me, Sky, right? I make so many decisions in my life. Can you just tell me what you think and where I should go if I have this problem? Like, and then it's gonna land. Maybe it doesn't land today, but I consume your content, so it's gonna land in a couple, right? As long as you keep saying it. That's also. So I repost, my magic is I repost the same message constantly. If you, Scott, see one of my videos that you've seen for the 50th time, good on you. I'm not talking to you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Or it hasn't landed and now I am talking to you,
exactly. We need to
right?
see a message multiple times. I think the statistic now is you need to see a message 9 times before you finally decide to it absorbs, it hits, and you're going to take action. If it's like advertisements, you see a commercial or you hear something, one time doesn't make you jump, 2 times, because it's convoluted in all the noise that we hear and that we're exposed to every single day around us. So you got to kind of keep hitting people with that message, because it takes time for it to properly absorb and land for them to take action. So great point. A lot of people say, "Well, I posted that already. I don't want to overwhelm somebody. I don't want to be annoying, by talking about it again."
Be annoying. Be annoying at all costs. You know what I mean? How bad do you want it?
Yeah. We actually had the same message on one of our recent interviews as well. It's like, you know what? You think you're being annoying, but you're actually not on the other end. So just go ahead and put the content out there, because it's
Yes.
it's only your
Yeah.
own brain that's telling you not to. Jay, so many stylists out there, listening. They're like, I am so busy. I know the automation sounds great. I'm gonna, try to look into that. Um, what's a realistic content strategy that you think stylists can stick to consistently, that you would recommend for their posting schedule, let's say?
I oh um it's so broad. It's so broad in a sense of, okay, I, when I'm coaching, I want to know people's capacity, right? I also like to apply the pressure because we all have 24 hours, okay? And if you are running a business and you want to run and you want to run a successful business, there are things that you have to do, as you know, everyone, we know this, that we don't want to do, but we have to do it because it's part of the growth, right? Until we get it to be a part of our life where it's now a habit. right? So if you're newer, you have to show up on the days that you don't want to. Like, you have to move through that inconsistency, that pushback to really extend the growth. So if you don't post at all, post once a week. If you post once a week, post 3 times. If you post 3 times, post 5 and take 2 days off. Do not, in the beginning, I said when I started, I was posting 6 times a day, 7 days a week. I do not do that anymore. Let me be clear. I do not do that anymore. But I knew I had to do that to be seen and heard, right? I wanted it because I knew what I had to say would change your life. And it has. It's changed thousands of stylists' lives, being trusting their credibility, doing things more efficiently, raising their price because their time is cut back on a service, right? Like, so we're making profit and giving stylists freedom in the house of Ladner. So I had to show up and just pound the pavement. But if you're not doing it at all, one day. If you're doing it 5 days, 5 days is great. You know what I mean? Allow there some, and guess what, Scott? Are you ready for this?
Yes.
If you decide not to post for 10 days, guess what? No one cares. So literally, they don't. I have done the research. I have done the exploration of not posting. No one cares. When you show back up, slay. You know what I mean? No one
Be
cares.
present.
So it's like a lot of pressure that we have on ourselves. So if you want to take a lull, take a lull. Do what you need in this moment, right? And you're allowed to adapt and evolve, and you're allowed to ebb and flow, and you're allowed to just get into it. But when you make the decision, own it.
Love it.
When you make the decision, own it.
Jay, we've talked about so many things in today's episode. I'm loving this. There's so many nuggets, so many insights. I hope everyone goes back and listens to it again, and certainly shares this, with others out there. If you had to simplify it, okay, we zoom out, like you've been talking about, let's zoom out, simplify it. What are 2 to 3 things that actually move the needle when it comes to social media success in our industry?
Education. We all are curious beings. Like, we love it. It like revs us up, right? Like, if it's funny, if it's not, like, we're always curious. Like, so, like, really going into that, I think that is like education and curiosity and some kind of consistency. It's like back to anything. Reps matter. So it's like reps move the needle forward. So as long as you continue on some kind of consistent repetition, you will move that needle forward. And we are ready for you. Everyone listening, we're ready for you. We've been waiting for you. And no one can share your message because you're you. And we're waiting. So whenever you're ready, we'll tap in. As long as you put the reps in and as long as you keep showing up for you, we will show up for you. And your message is yours, right? So it's like giving permission to just, in a big scheme of things, consistency, put in the reps, and just be you. That's it.
Such an amazing message. I love it, and we're gonna
Yeah.
repeat that. We're gonna clip that, and we're gonna repeat that over and over again for everyone out there. It's
Dear media, clip that. Have you seen it?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go. That's what we needed. Jay, thank you so much. If people want to be, if they're not already following you, if they're not one of the 271,000, followers, they want to be
It's
200. They want to be
wild.
271 and one. Where do they go to follow you to follow along all of your great content? Because everybody, if you just watch what Jay's doing, I think you heard it on this episode, but if you see it on a daily basis on his Instagram, I think you're gonna it's the light's really gonna click, okay, for you. So Jay, where do they go find you?
So I live and breathe, and I feel like I live in the building of Instagram. That's where I live. That's where I live. I don't do anything else. Oh, well, Facebook, but that's Meta. So Instagram at it's Mr. J Ladner, Ladner, and just the letter J, like Madonna. Okay, so it's Mr. J Ladner. That's where I live and breathe. Even though I have automations, you're talking to me. Like if it's outside of an automation, it's me. I don't have a team behind talking and speaking for me. So get up in my DM, slide up in. If the kids are saying that now, slide up in. I don't know. So, so it's like that's where I live. Or you can go to www.jladner.com and everything you need, free education, paid educate, whatever you want. However you want to take me, there's availability. Okay. So if you want to go all in or you just want to kind of tiptoe the waters, there's an opportunity for you.
All in, or just dip it in. There's always an opportunity.
Yeah,
we're gonna post it in the show notes. You'll have links to his Instagram and to his website as well, everyone, so you can check that out. Jay, thank you so much for sharing your energy, your experience, your insights, your heart with us today. It came through loud and clear, and I know that our listeners were able to take so much away from your message today.
I'm honored. Thank you.
Everyone, hope you enjoyed this episode. Social media can feel overwhelming, I know, but what today's conversation has hopefully highlighted for you is that it's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things consistently. Right? You don't need hundreds of thousands of followers to build a successful career, but you do need to be intentional about how you show up online and just tell your message, your story, right? What Jay showed us today is that when you combine your skill, right, your hands, you combine the strategy, from your mind and the message from your heart, and you just do that consistently, it becomes the tool to build your business, your brand, and ultimately your future in this industry. If you're out there listening and you know a stylist who has been putting in the effort online but just is not seeing the results yet, share this episode with them, right? Because sometimes one shift in strategy, everything. I encourage everyone out there to implement something that you learned today. Doesn't have to be everything. Take something, take a nugget, implement that. And remember, when salon professionals grow, right, the entire industry is rising. And that's the scoop for today. Thank you so much for listening to the Salon Scoop podcast. This show is produced by Salon S.O.S, a digital marketing agency by industry professionals for industry professionals. If you want simple and affordable solutions for any of your salon marketing needs, such as websites, client loyalty, Google search rankings, social media, or more, come visit us at salonsos.ca or on Instagram at salon.s.o.s. If you want to hear more episodes like this and help us continue to bring the industry great content, it would mean so much to us if you would support us in one of the following ways. Either share this episode with one other industry professional, and rate the show on Spotify, or write us a quick review on Apple Music. We want to hear your feedback. If you have follow-up questions or ideas for future episodes, please reach out. DM us on Instagram at salonus.s.o.s or hit us up on our website again at salonsos.ca. Again, thanks so much for listening. Now go get your hustle on, keep smiling, and we'll catch you on our next episode.